get the whole rundown on Shannon Sharpe then, my nigga. Here we go.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown.
We have a new public response, a new disturbing piece of audio, and new graphic text messages. The legal battle between NFL Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe and his sexual assault accuser definitely has intensified. As we go through these new developments, who's telling the truth about what really happened?
Damn.
Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber.
Is the video too loud or is it good?
A new legal war has begun, and this time it's between NFL Hall of Famer, podcaster, commentator Shannon Sharpe and the woman who's accusing him of sexually assaulting and raping her as recently as January of this year. Now, we covered this earlier in the week, but now, not only has Shannon Sharpe fired back in a major way, releasing a public message, a response, apparently revealing the identity of this Jane Doe, but he's also published never-before-seen apparent text messages between the two. Quite a response, to say the least. And then what happens? You think the story ends there? No. She fires back by releasing an apparent audio tape between her and Shannon Sharpe. This is crossed to a whole different kind of level. And I want to get into what we're seeing right now. We're going to break it down. But first, let's take a step back.
I don't know if I want to
learn a little bit more about the backstory, what's happening here. So, we have 56-year-old Shannon Sharpe, who has been sued by an unidentified woman. She's going by the pseudonym Jane Doe, and she is suing him for $50 million in Nevada court. She claims that after meeting Shannon Sharpe at the gym back in 2023 and beginning a consensual relationship with him, who, by the way, she claims is 30 years older than her, it escalated into him allegedly insisting they record their sexual activity, sometimes without her knowledge, him sharing those videos with others, him allegedly telling her that he would do things to her that, quote, would make no other man want her, that he allegedly manipulated her, controlled her, threatened her, intimidated her, was able to gain access to her apartment complex without her permission. For example, this is from the lawsuit. It reads, "The verbal abuse never stopped.
Oh my God.
He would berate and degrade plaintiff, just as he had."
This nigga is cooked. This nigga did everything he's not supposed to do.
And she is suing him for $50 million in Nevada court. She claims that after meeting Shannon Sharpe at the gym back in 2023 and beginning a consensual relationship with him, who, by the way, she claims is 30 years older than her, it escalated into him allegedly insisting they record their sexual activity, sometimes without her knowledge.
One strike.
Him sharing those videos with others. Him allegedly telling her that he would do things to her that, quote, would make no other man want her.
3 strikes.
That he allegedly
the lawyer.
manipulated
What
her,
the lawyer
controlled
do?
her, threatened her, intimidated
4, 5,
her,
6,
was
7
able to
strikes.
gain access
7,
to her
8
apartment
strikes.
complex without her permission. For example, this is from the lawsuit. It reads, "The verbal abuse never stopped.
This nigga done fouled
He
out the
would berate
game
and degrade plaintiff, just as he had from the beginning. One time specifically, he was yelling at her while there was a firearm visible in his room. Terrified for her safety, plaintiff tried sharing her location with friends from her iPhone just in case. But Sharpe saw her doing this.
Be rich one day, bro. One day we're not gonna have no ads, bro.
The moment he realized what she was doing, he grabbed her by the neck and told her, if you ever do that again, I will bleeping kill you. And then, this finally all allegedly culminated with Jane Doe claiming that in October of 2020,
she got to be making this shit up, bro. He told her he was gonna off her, bro. He got a reputation about going after sexual black people like Jay-Z. Oh, so they making this up. They framing my boy, right? Ow, right?
her iPhone just in case. But Sharpe saw her doing this. The moment he realized what she was doing, he grabbed her by the neck and told her, if you ever do that again, I will bleeping kill you. And then, this finally all allegedly culminated with Jane Doe claiming that in October of 2024, Sharpe violently sexually assaulted and raped her in Las Vegas, all while she was allegedly sobbing.
Jay-Z was framed, so maybe
he did this again recently in January of 2025, her allegedly begging him to stop as this was purportedly going on. So she has sued him for assault, sexual battery, sexual battery, intentional infliction of emotional distress. She's being represented by Texas attorney Tony Busby, who we know famously represented a Jane Doe in a now defunct sexual assault lawsuit against Jay-Z. He represents several accusers and actions against Sean Diddy Combs as well. But as I mentioned, Shannon Sharpe has responded. This is what we want to get into. And let me tell you, did he respond? A lot of money at stake in this case, right? And talking money, actually, how about getting money back? Let me tell you about Upside. Upside is fantastic. It is a free app that gets you cash back when you buy daily essentials. I pump my gas, I can get a statement from him on his Instagram where he says that he's going to be open, transparent, defend himself because this isn't right. And he says that this whole thing is being orchestrated.
All right, let me hear Shannon Sharpe. I'm trying to hear her.
Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the...
Hey, nigga, I ain't gonna lie. This nigga reading off a fucking screen. I'm familiar, bro. I know the method. Bro. But this nigga just said the video would be 10 minutes long. You tell me we gonna get a 10-minute long video, this nigga cracking, you know what I'm saying? Educational purposes.
The media.
And he goes on to say that the encounter in question took place during the day at the invitation of Jane Doe, says that this was all a deliberate setup by her. He also, by the way, revealed her first name and apparently her name that she purportedly uses on OnlyFans. We're not going to reveal those names here. We're not going to do that. But he does go on to say, quote, my career is all about
there is
talk
a big
and honesty.
yummy. Holy
I know my
shit.
family and fans know exactly
we
what
are
this
cooked
is about,
as a society.
and I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. And we also got a statement from his attorney, Lonnie J. Davis, and that reads, Mr. Sharpe categorically denies all allegations of coercion or misconduct, especially the gross lie of rape, and will not submit to what he sees as an egregious attempt at blackmail.
They should like bleep out that word, bro.
He stands firmly by the truth and is prepared to fight these false claims vigorously in court. And Davis has also commented about that apparent tape that was seemingly referenced by Sharpe because he accuses Jane Doe of providing a, quote, secretly recorded and heavily edited video to them that purports to be a non-consensual encounter of some kind. But Davis claimed that Jane Doe, quote, has refused to provide a copy of the full unedited version of the recording to Mr. Sharpe's legal team. And then there's this. Sharpe and his legal team released all of these apparent text messages between him and this Jane Doe.
I saw the text.
44 pages worth of communications. For example, as reported by TMZ, there's one apparent message from October 2023 where Jane Doe seemingly messages Sharpe, I want you to put a dog collar around my neck and choke me with it while you're bleeping me. Now, the New York Post reporting on other messages allegedly from Jane Doe, like, tie me up and do bad things to me. I know you missed this big, juicy bleep, $25K for each cheek. Tie me up like this and bleep me, with Sharpe replying, if I knew how to, I would. She then allegedly wrote back, it's okay, I have handcuffs. We can stick to those for now. Jane Doe also allegedly writing, I want like some hardcore BDSM action though, and feeling kind of freaky lately. And then you have this apparent message from March 14th, 2024. I want to be abused, Daddy. And then another
Why is he saying that word?
last
Come
year
on,
where
bro.
she apparently wrote him, I've always wanted a black baby. Now, Lonnie Davis commented that, quote, the evidence...
So this is Jane Doe? Who is Jane Doe? Is that the... That's not the girl, right? Jane Doe? Oh, placeholder. Okay, so this is the girl then. Okay, cool. Got it. I saw they had the girls like they found like her shit, obviously. They got to her shit, so I want to see what she looked like. I think I saw one video, but I wasn't sure if that was like her. But they got her saying this. Nigga, I always wanted a black baby. Ain't she like 30 years younger than Shannon Sharpe? Shannon Sharpe like damn near 60. Yeah, these niggas is freaked out.
This paints a clear picture. This was a consensual adult relationship that included role-playing, sexual language, and fantasy scenarios.
Yeah,
so
clearly.
what happens then? Again, this is not the end
I
of the
always
story.
wanted a black
Jane
baby.
Doe ends up releasing an audio tape seemingly between her and Sharpe. And I'm going to explain part of what is heard on this tape. We can't play it for legal reasons.
Okay,
but
good.
here is part of the exchange, and this part is key. Again, this is from the audio tape. Jane Doe says, "Don't manipulate me." Sharpe replies, "If you say that word one more time, I'm going to choke the bleep out of you next time I see you." Jane Doe pauses, takes a minute, and says, "Well, I don't want to be choked." And Sharpe replies, "Yes, you do. I don't think you have a choice in the matter." Now, to be clear, this tape may only be a portion of the entire conversation and audio, but this appears to be a portion nonetheless. Jane Doe's attorney, again, Tony Busby, described this audio as, quote, "The contents of this clip are certainly not sexual. They are not playful. They are instead disturbing, aggressive, and dangerous. This audio paints a very clear picture of how Sharpe treated Jane Doe, leading her to escape from him by leaving Nevada and blocking all contact with him." And he added that they released this audio in response to Sharpe's lawyer, Blonnie Davis, trying to discredit Jane Doe by releasing all of these alleged texts, which, by the way, Busby says are basically irrelevant because they're all before the alleged assault. Okay, so now I want to bring on Mauricio Padilla, litigator, criminal defense attorney, to talk more about this. Mauricio, thanks so much for taking the time. Let's just start with the lawsuit and the allegations.
I don't really want to hear a random nigga talk about it.
Very graphic.
I think we got the gist of this. Is this nigga cooked? This nigga, I look, you want to hear what Stephen A said.
All right, everybody, listen up. With all the big-time sports action that's happening each and every day, the Stephen A. Smith Show wants to make sure you are taking advantage of it all. That's why we've partnered with Prize Picks, the best place to win cash while watching sports. The app is really... Today's a different day because of where I have to get started and where I have to finish. There's only going to be one subject discussed today, and it's where we're getting started. It's involving some news that broke yesterday involving Shannon Sharpe, my colleague at ESPN, and my friend. The Hall of Fame tight end was sued on Sunday by a woman proceeding under the name Jane Doe pseudonym. The 13-page civil complaint filed in Nevada alleges that Sharpe committed assault, sexual assault, battery, and sexual battery. The plaintiff alleges Sharpe sexually assaulted her several times at the end of 2024 and the beginning of 2025. The suit also alleges that Shannon engaged in the intentional infliction of emotional distress. It should be noted that the suit was filed by attorney Tony Busby. This is the same attorney that filed a suit against Jay-Z and P. Diddy, alleging they both sexually assaulted a minor, which has since been withdrawn. Jay-Z also has countersued Busby. By the way, the plaintiff in the Sharpe civil suit is not the woman heard in the accidental Instagram live stream incident that made headlines last September.
Yo, I forgot about that,
year.
bro. Oh my god.
In response,
Shannon Sharpe all up groaning and barking in her ear to about that's my Michelle and shit. Like, isn't Shannon Sharpe married? Shannon Sharpe is married,
Shannon
right?
and his legal team went to social media yesterday and released a series of allegedly sexually explicit text messages between him and the Jane Doe. In addition to that, they issued the following statement, quote, "This lawsuit, filed by Gabriella Zuniga and orchestrated by her attorney, Tony Busby, is a blatant and cynical attempt to shake down Mr. Sharpe for millions of dollars."
Zuniga, I'm about to look her up. Can I have this on the screen, though? I don't know what's going to pop up. Gabriella Zuniga. Hold on, bro. Come on, bro. Is it? Now, look. I'm about to say something a little crazy. Now, I want us to all, we know Shannon Sharpe, big dude. He like, what, 6'6", maybe 6'7". Big dude. Now, let's just imagine Shannon Sharpe. I'm not going to say imagine what. But let's just imagine Shannon Sharpe. Now, look at this girl. Hold on. I can't help but imagine that this nigga was destroying the shit out of her. I'm sorry. That's all I can think about. Is that crazy to say? Dude, he had to be destroying that shit crazy. I don't know who these other randoms are, but nigga, he had to be going stupid. I mean, like, 50K each, 25K each cheat? Who the fuck is that? Alright, bro. I'm familiar with your game, Mr. Sharpe.
It is filled with lies, distortions, and misrepresentations, and it will not succeed, end quote.
Put me in
Then earlier
handcuffs.
today,
Come on, bro.
Jane Doe's attorney, Tony Busby, sent TMZ Sports a 1 minute and 36-second clip of an alleged conversation between his client and Shannon. In response to that clip, Shannon Sharpe went back to social media and issued this response. Take a look.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart.
We already saw
this. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself, what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys. Thanks.
Well,
this nigga been going through some shit.
It's a sad situation. Shannon Sharpe is somebody I work with a couple of days a week. Shannon Sharpe is somebody that I brought to ESPN. Works on First Take, which airs on ESPN every weekday morning from 10 a.m. to 12 noon Eastern Standard Time.
Come on, bro. L promo, bro. Come on.
He's been with me every Monday and Tuesday. We've been number one for 13 years and counting. But since Shannon has arrived, obviously he's helped the show immensely.
Yeah.
And I can't thank him enough for it. We've grown close as friends. I'd like to believe that. I certainly root for him. I know he's been through a lot in life. He's overcome a lot of things.
All right, bro. Enough of this lovey-dovey shit, bro. Let me hear what you feel.
And when he departed from Fox, I was more than happy to bring him on board here. You know, the reports, the things that have been reported on a multitude of outlets, from the AP to the New York Post to Forbes to TMZ and everything in between. I mean, I can't even count the number of publications that have talked about it or written about it, networks, etc. It's all over the internet. It's everywhere. And I know that. I'm fully aware of that. This is not a criminal case. So it's not.
I don't know, bro. It sounds like
there
a
is
criminal
no
to
concern
me.
about him going to jail. This is a civil case.
Okay, you right. You right. My fault.
Which means that he can either be found liable or not liable. The accuser in question is seeking $50 million. That was confirmed by Shannon Sharpe on that video today. According to the reports, it's somebody that he met in
50 mil, 25K each cheat.
Who was 19 years old at that particular moment in time. According to some audio that was put out earlier today by attorney Busby, you hear the accuser, the female, talking to somebody who is alleged to be Shannon Sharpe. We don't know whether that's true or not.
True, it could be, you know what I'm saying? Could be a little edited clip or something.
The person in question, again, we don't know whether it's Shannon or not. The words choke, as in I will choke the hell out of you if I saw you. And so because of that, knowing that audio was probably going to come out along with additional tapes, whether they be video or audio is unclear at this particular moment in time, Shannon Sharpe felt compelled to come out in his own defense. How we to interpret that?
All right, bro, like
him being extorted. He brought up Mr. Busby. And
I've said worse
Mr. Busby's
things. God,
back.
I ain't famous. Come
and
on,
he talked about
bro.
him, going against African American men.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to hear
There's
this
two
anymore.
thoughts there.
This nigga wasting my time. Shout out Stephen A. Smith. Shannon Sharpe. Shit looking real scary. I ain't gonna lie, but I'ma always be there for you know what I'm saying, Lakers in 5. You feel me?